All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we might as well get to the meat and potatoes of this podcast and just start talking about it real quick. So as you remember on my last podcast, I was talking about Aries Spears and how he made comments towards Lizzo that had to do with her weight and everything like that. So the internet, like the internet does, did its detective work and found a video, and it wasn't even just a video. The people in the party that was part of the video is suing Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish as well. So let me just read the story. I'm not even gonna play the video. I'm not going to do it because it's first of all, it's not safe for work, and it's definitely not safe to play. I don't think it's safe to play on YouTube, even though it's like just like a it's supposed to be like a comedy sketch, but that, I ain't gonna lie, I've watched it and it's sick. It's disgusting. It's sick. It's not something you should. It's nasty. It looks very nasty. All right, so what it says is comedians Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears have been accused of exploiting and sexually abusing two minors, according to the Daily Beast. In a September 1st report based on documents from a civil lawsuit and interviews with the plaintiffs, the outlet says Haddish encouraged her friends' children, going by pseudonyms, Jane and John Doe, to maintain their autonomy to participate in explicit sketches, one of which apparently wound up on the website of Funny or Die. Jane and John were respectively 14 and 7 at the time, now 22 and 15. They claim intense, lingering, emotional, and psychological distress from the skits. Their lawsuit accuses both comedians of sexually abusing, battering, harassing a minor, along with the intentional infliction of emotional distress and gross negligence. It separately accuses Haddish of negligent supervision, failure to warn, breach of fiduciary duty, and constructive fraud, according to the Daily Beast. Jane and John Doe alleged that Haddish pushed them to make uncomfortable and inappropriate content. Per the Daily Beast, Haddish and the plaintiff mother met through comedy and bonded over their divorces. Messy divorces, she told the outlet. We just really got super close. That would have been sometime before 2013, when the lawsuit claims Haddish spoke at a then 14-year-old Jane's camp and offered her a perfect role starring in a commercial to be produced by Haddish and Spears. This allegedly involved Jane moaning and making S noises while she simulated fellatio on a sub sandwich at the adult comedian's request. Hey. Through Jane, though Jane says she tried to do what they asked, she allegedly felt feeling physically, emotionally, and mentally uncomfortable. And as if she hadn't really delivered on the assignment, she says she didn't tell her mom or anybody else about how weird I felt at that moment. But then a year later, Haddish allegedly approached her friend again about filming a project for John, which turned out to be a sketch titled The Mind of a P-Word. Not gonna say that. Both appeared in the clip, but Spears played the eponymous P-Word. He reportedly massaged baby oil into the baby's bare shoulders. John spends most of the video clad only in his underwear, as Spears' character leers at him, per the Daily Beast, and climbed into a bathtub with him. John says he left the shoot distraught, allegedly with Haddish yelling at him for his failure to cooperate. I had to kick and scream and cry, and Tiffany came and told me to let him touch me. Wow, this is very reading this is great. Reading this is just as nasty reading it as it is watching the video, the skits that I watched. Like it's very hard to read this. Very hard to read this just as much as like it was very hard to watch the video. John reportedly wrote while in therapy in a statement attached to the lawsuit responding to the Daily Beast's report. 20-year guy called the video absolutely disgusting and said it was uploaded to the site as user-generated content before being taken down in 2018, presumably after Bossip resurfaced some tasteless skits by as I was saying, Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears, relating to the thing that they're being sued for. It's all off the pretty much it's all off of it's all off of the strength of somebody making a joke. And obviously comedy is at the forefront of being like basically grabbed by its balls and nuts and being told what to do. Even though comedy is supposed to be a art form, and you know, I've said this in the past and I'll say it again, that comedy is not supposed to, it's supposed to make the uncomfortable comfortable. Some comedians tell jokes that I hate, I don't like, but it's used as a narrative point to poke fun at the world and all of its problems. Comedy is used to poke fun at problems people have in their life, marital problems, problems with your children, so on and so forth, world problems. Comedy is supposed to be something instilled as a distraction to make you say, yeah, you know, things are messed up right now, this, that, and the third, but hey, let's use this time to laugh about it, you know? Do I think comedy is goes a little overboard at times? The only thing comedy is guilty of in 2022 is being able to be used as a pincushion for all of the soft underbelly sensitive human beings that have grown through from yesteryear or the past decade into this new modern time, and are able to just voice their opinion and make everything so sensitive. Like it's affected comedy, it's affected rap. Matter of fact, it's affected different genres of art. I'm not saying that every single thing that comes out in comedy is good, but you know, there's a reason for everything. And freedom of speech is just at the bottom of a trash can, being like replaced with like this bag over it and not allowed to come out. So it's almost as though freedom of speech doesn't exist at all anymore, or until, you know, somebody latches on into saying something other than what the narrative has been placed upon. What the narrative has basically, when somebody changes the narrative and does something different and says something different, it immediately gets attacked because we're supposed to stay in this box that the system has made for us and not say anything different. I'm not saying like I said, I'm not saying every single thing that comes up is right, but I mean, if y'all allowed DJT to be president and say whatever he wanted to say, how is it that people who aren't part of any agenda or anything like that how are they not allowed to say what they want? You're quieting one side to allow the other side to live. How does that work? Doesn't make any sense. So at the end of this all, really, all of this pretty much just came up because Aries Spears made a joke about Lizzo's weight, which is weird because, as I stated, Lizzo has literally publicly gone on record and basically there are countless videos of her talking about her weight and working out and eating right. So I don't even know where that came from, but you have to remember, he's a comedian telling a joke. It's not like, I'm wondering if a comedian who is part of the system's agenda said any type of joke that had to do with weight about Lizzo, would that person be attacked the same way Aries Spears is being attacked? That lets you know if Lizzo ever messes up, they're gonna come for her too. Y'all think just right now, just because she's in the mainstream, just because she's like in the mainstream, she's safe? I feel like if she messes up and does something wrong or says something wrong, they're gonna turn on her. That's the way it goes, right? I hate to make it about race or anything like that, but I feel like if it was a white comedian saying that, let's just say Amy Schumer or even Lisa Lampanelli, right, making a joke about Lizzo being fat, I don't think this would even be stretching out the way it is right now. Now, I'm not saying that to say that what Aries Spears went and did with the skit with the little children and Tiffany Haddish also being involved, I'm not saying that's right. That was not right at all. And honestly, he and Tiffany Haddish should take accountability, which I believe Tiffany Haddish has just said, I really wish at that point in my career I wouldn't have done it. And I believe this is also while she wasn't like a movie star. She wasn't that big. She was just a comedian. Of course, I remember in that time period, she was like driving off the wave of like, working with Cat Williams and being on his tour and that whole thing being successful. So I'm just hoping for at least her sake, her learning from this and just being able to go and just be better. I mean, and I feel like I had found a video of her also. I think the reason why they're attacking her, because as I said, it just feels kind of random that she's getting attacked. There's something that has to do with like a company that she has or whatever, and I believe like Google wanted to buy it or something like that, and she said no. And it's supposed to be like some type of program that's supposed to be, anything that has to do with positivity for Black people, whether it's making money or teaching them ways to do things differently. The ones at the top will find a way to just destroy it in any way possible by, whether it be attacking the person who is at the head of it in any way possible, shape, or form, or whatever. So I feel like, because she was on the Corey Holcomb show, his podcast, and she was talking about a company that she had, and she said, she is basically learning and teaching and making a better way and positive outlook for not just Black Americans, Africans, people that look like me. Yeah. And she said something about how Google was trying to purchase it from her, and she said no. And I believe that's probably why she's getting attacked. So hopefully she can learn from this and move forward and just continue doing whatever it is she's doing positively to impact change for people of color. And Aries Spears, I don't know, bro. This might be the nail in the coffin. I don't know. I'm not saying he's not a nobody. I'm not saying he's a nobody, but I mean at the same time he's still a human being. But as a comedian, I feel like for the moment he's kind of like, he should just like lay low, because this don't look good for you publicly. It doesn't look good at all. So that's what I think, man.